Guys, this week's video is dedicated to the late great Wayne Dyer. He had some great messages throughout his life, and one of them I'm going to share with you in this particular video, so stay tuned. Hi guys, Mitch here from MJB Seminars, where you liberate, you empower, and you inspire yourself to be the greatest example of your creation. Now, one of the things that defines us in our lives is how we actually handle life, is how we handle life's pressures. We judge ourselves in accordance with how we handle life's pressure, and we also perceive as if we're judged by how we actually handle life's pressures. Now, the late great Wayne Dyer had a great little story on his Facebook page not so long ago about stepping out on stage, and when he stepped out on stage, he brought a prop with him, and the prop was basically an orange. Sitting in the front row of the audience, he had a young 12-year-old boy. He asked the 12-year-old boy, you know, when I squeeze this orange, what comes out of it? And the 12-year-old boy responded by saying, well, juice comes out of it. And he goes, okay, but what sort of juice comes out of it? And he said, well, orange juice comes out of it. He said, okay. He said, well, when I squeeze it, does apple juice come out of it? And he said, well, no, of course not. He said, does watermelon juice come out of it? He said, no, of course not. He said, why not? He said, because it's an orange. What comes out of it is what's in it. He then said, that's exactly right. Whenever in life we get squeezed or we get pressurized by something, whatever comes out of us is what's in us. Make sense? Whatever is coming out of us is what's actually inside of us. So it doesn't matter what's putting the pressure on or what's squeezing us. What matters is what's inside of us and what we're doing about what's inside of us. So I want to add to what Wayne was actually saying here, and I think his point was, you know, whenever we're squeezed and pressurized, if anything comes out of us other than love, appreciation, gratitude, if anything other than those things come out of us, well then that's what it is we have to work on. And ultimately our quest within our lives is to get ourselves to a point that no matter what external pressures are going on, internally we're constantly in a state of love, gratitude and appreciation within our lives. Now, my clients are always saying to me, you know, what do I work on next? How do I keep moving ahead? How do I keep growing and evolving? Well, ask yourself, whatever pressure is happening in your life right now, how are you handling that pressure? And if you're handling, for example, financial pressure with a state of greed, or if you're handling with fear, or if you're handling it with, for example, being nervous or out of a state of balance, well, then they're the things that you actually have to work on. If you're being pressurized by a person and the thing that's coming out of you is resentment, well, that's exactly what it is you have to work on. And you'll realize then that whoever's pressurizing you or whatever's pressurizing you, it is taking you to a point of being able to deal with who you are and recognize what you've got to get through your life and through the world. Now, and get through the world's pressures. Now, in doing this, I want to give you a really cool tip that will really help you to very quickly get on top of whatever's going on for you in your life. Let's say you are being pressured by a person. The greatest question that you can ask yourself at that point is, how is this enabling me? Who am I having to step up into? What characteristics and traits am I having to summon inside of myself? And those characteristics and traits kind of shouldn't be plus or minus. They should be things like, you know, who am I having to become? Am I having to become more empathetic, more understanding? Am I having to listen? Am I having to be humble? And as you start to recognize what it is it's enabling you to do, you'll realize that the person that is pressurizing you is just an angel in disguise. Now guys, I want you to do something for me in the comment section this week. If you have had some pressures this week, I want you to tell me what characteristics, traits, qualities, and how did it benefit you? What did you have to summon inside of yourself? Tell me about the situation. Tell me how you grew as a result of it. Now on top of this, if you feel that you know somebody in your life that's struggling a little bit, they might have financial pressure or social pressure or pressure from a loved one, please feel free to help us to help them. Flick this forward on Facebook or tweet it. Remember guys, love is the only way. Love is all there is. You deserve to live a life inspired. Take care. Bye-bye.